Good day and welcome to the Sport Rep Show. I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, updating you on the latest sports news. In today's show, Sport Rep speaks to Namibia Sports Commission Chief Administrator Freddy Mwiya with regards to the latest developments about the sport categorization process. And now for your latest on the hit list. Motor racing enthusiasts were in for a treat last weekend when the Tony Rust Racing Track hosted the second leg of the Rotax Max National Go-Kart Championship on Saturday. Although a considerable number of participants took part in the one-day event, a 6-year-old boy by the name of Russell Josephat turned heads up with his amazing speed and driving skills. The Delta Windhoek school learner schooled the field on the day, resulting in him winning 2 of the 3 heats. He was the overall winner of the Barbados class with an impressive 105 points. According to his father, Russell only started racing competitively last year, but his debut season was short-lived as he dropped out. Well, he came back with a bang. Namibia Rugby International Aaron Coetzee is considering a move to the English Premiership again this summer when his contract with the Cheetahs runs out. Coetzee, who turns 35 years old today, had a spell at both earlier this season and a temporary injury cover loan when they found themselves short of a tight head, playing 5 matches for the club. As reported in the rugby paper, the Cheetahs have not agreed a new deal with him yet, and Coetzee has been looking to see what opinions or what openings can be to him in the Premiership if his 7-year stint in Bloemfontein is ending. The Namibia veterans cricket team will be looking to conclude their Group B pool matches at the Over-50s World Cup on a respective note when they take on the powerful Pakistan in Cape Town on Wednesday. The Namibian side, captained by wicketkeeper Melt van Schoor, has found the going tough so far, losing all their matches against India, the United Arab Emirates, Wales, as well as the joint group leaders England and South Africa. The Over-50s World Cup pool matches will be followed by play-off for the final positions, in which the Namibians could likely face Canada as the team at the bottom of the lock-in Group A. During the past week, Namib Lions Athletics Club held 2 parasport festivities in Windhoek as well as Kamanyap in the Kunene region, where athletes were introduced to para-archery, para-powerlifting, amputee social, hand cycling, general fitness and para-athletics. Michael Hamkwaya, the Secretary General of the NPC and founder of the Namib Lions, says the parasport festival saw over 60 athletes benefit from the event held in the conjunction with Namibia Paralympics Committee and its development program. Amkwaya said there are still many programs remaining before the end of July, and they are using sports as a way to fight the stigma opportune to disability. Namibians Cyril Moller and Cyril van Rooy will represent Namibia at the World Hayball Masters Tournament in Qingdao, China later this month. The duo was selected to showcase their skills at the Chinese 8-Ball Championship from 20 March until 6 April, and after the International Hayball Federation pool invited top players to represent the Namibian Pool and Billboard Federation at the competition, positive results are expected to come from them. We will now go for a short break before our spotlight gets on Freddy Mwiya.
Let's find out why Andalex is SA's #1 brand for sore throat and mouth.
When I have a painful sore throat, I use Andalex Sea Spray. I use it regularly for painful conditions of the mouth and throat caused by viral and bacterial infections.
I use Andalex C antibacterial mouthwash every second day. It protects my mouth against infections caused by viruses and bacteria, as well as gum disease.
For a sore mouth and throat, just Andalex it.
Namibia Sports Commission Chief Administrator Freddy Mwiya is urging sport federations that are yet to supply their audits and documents for evaluation to do so in due course in order to avoid the consequences. Sport Rep had a chat with Mwiya earlier this morning, and this is what he had to say. Good day, Master Mwiya, and welcome to the Sport Rep show.
Good day.
Yes, I think it is indeed a very important stage in Namibian sports. One of the things that we can mention is the fact that federations now are requested to submit, that is their documents, just for the categorization and all that. How has that process been?
Thank you. Compliance is applicable to all the sectors. So in sport, we also apply compliance. But how do we measure compliance? Is we use categorization of sports code that we reward those who are in compliance in terms of all the key areas that promote sport in this country. So as such, we know that the first exercise was 2018, and now we are doing the second exercise because it's a period of 4 years. Very happy that, yes, indeed, quite 75% of our affiliates have submitted on the due date, which was the 10th of March. However, we still have plus or minus 30% of our federation that did not submit any of the documents. Surprisingly, some of the federations that we can call National Sports Code, I'm sorry to mention that indeed it's not good. We have got also one of the federations for me that could actually become a National Sports Code soon, which is a priority sports code, but they did not also do their submission.
Have they probably contacted the office to give an explanation as to why they have not submitted anything?
Obviously, when you're a sick person, you come to the hospital yourself. The hospital does not come to you. But in our case, the hospital managed to move from the hospital itself to the people. We did that exercise last week by calling them to say, please, you are a sick person there where you are. Come to the hospital and get treatment. But they did not do so. Imagine of that nature. So that's why today, again, we are appealing to them that they are delaying our process. We cannot say extension anymore. We can just say they must submit and they are going to be penalized out of the exercise. It's already they're not in compliance. One of the items of compliance is how do you meet your due dates. Already they are losing points on the aspect of meeting due dates. So that's what we can actually sell to them.
Okay. Among the documents, what were they required to submit in general, all the federations?
If you look about the criteria have got 5 components. The most important component is about your presence in the regions, sport development, because the focus for the next 8 years, we are looking about sport development in the regions. So it means we look about your presence in the region. That counts 50% of the evaluation process. We also talk about governance matters, governance about your audited financial statement for the past 4 years, how you run your meetings, all empirical evidence of your minutes that have been conducted to see to it that, yes, indeed, there is proper governance in this organization now. We also look at, that count 25%. We also look about international participation, your achievement at international participation and other factors that are also counting up to the value of 100%.
As we speak, how many sport codes do we have in this country?
There are 56 sports codes, and that's why I said 70 to 75% have actually managed to hit our call. Because when I was looking, we have got around about close to 40 that have already submitted their documentation with us.
Mr. Mwiya, there's many different sport codes. I think what is likely to happen if they do not literally just submit or come to the party?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of benefit attached. At least our budget this year was much better. We are also going to allocate grants to federations, for their operational purposes. So if you are a national sports code, you stand a very good chance to have a better share of the grant. And the priority sports code being the second, and the development sports code. So if you did not submit, honestly speaking, you cannot come and complain to us why you did not get enough money from the cake. In the same vein, once you are categorized as a national sports coach, you stand a very good chance when when government is looking for support or giving financial support of any kind. Because my motivation, I always say, please support this federation for these bigger activities. Reason B, this is a national sports code. Reason B, this is a priority sports code. But if you are a recreational sports coach, it becomes a challenge. How can I give a reason to say give 1 million to a recreational sports coach? It becomes a challenge.
Okay, I think that is the sound of good music by the terms of saying that sport codes will start getting something again. I mean, given that the budget has been improved, have you guys managed to sort out the figures and how much this codes will possibly get?
It's our cake is very small. They'll get a little bit out of that cake, provided you can be able to pay some of your water utilities and also be able to buy, papers and pens for your organization, especially the office base. So I think that's what we are looking at in terms of those grants. We also need to understand government is doing a lot in terms of international participation because there's a different budget for international participation. Look like if we go to African Games and the para team that's going to African, Paralympic Games, there's a separate budget all for that. We've got other games, team going to Commonwealth Games. That is something separate. So there's a lot. Government needs to prioritize where they have to plow money. At least from the little they give the commission, we have to say, for administration purposes, let's help these brothers and sisters.
Which is a wonderful thing. As so far from the codes that have not submitted, you mentioned that some are the bigger sport codes or the national sport codes as per se. Are they likely to lose those status if they do not comply?
Definitely, if they don't comply, they are likely to lose those status because you don't stay where you are if you do not actually meet the requirement. Imagine if you don't go in the right, we call it a driver's license. It's valid for a given period of time. When it expired, it expired. You cannot say, no, I used to have that driver's license. You'll be arrested. Definitely. They'll tell you, it have expired. We know you very well. You are doing very well. You are the best driver in this world. But your document you have tells you that you don't qualify. You have expired.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How long do they have to respond before any further action is taken?
To be frank enough, we are not going to take action. They will take action by themselves to mean that they are not going to be categorized. That's the action. It means themselves they are going to evaluate themselves. For us, we still call upon them to do so. That's the right thing to do. We are going to start with this exercise come next week, Monday. And when the team will be busy, they'll be busy. And once we have completed the exercise, then I don't think we have got the time now to go and request people. Definitely. They know themselves. They'll be out in the papers by tomorrow. So I don't want now to say who are they, but people, they know themselves. Most people, they will be writing to say, A, have submitted. Then I think then the nation will be able to know to say, hey, no wonder there's a problem in this sports code. It means the type of leaders we have here, it is a problem.
Okay. Who are busy with, or who will be doing the process of categorizing this?
No, my office will be doing that activity. I got a team here, and we have also requested 2 members from the ministry who will also be joining the team. Then they will definitely carry with the exercise coming next week, Monday. So it will take them a period of 2 weeks. I know they'll be finished in 2 weeks' time. Yes, because they know the trade already. We are not going to start from scratch because we know our federations already. So it's something already in the head. If you ask me already now today, who to become a national sports code, I can tell you already, I know my sports codes. Yes, I know I can tell you X without even going to the file. I can tell you X qualified. The reason being because I'm studying these federations day and night.
I'm going forward. Maybe anything to add from the Sports Commission that we should expect after this categorization?
After this categorization, as I said, we are working on the strategic plan for the next 4 years. I can assure you, my dream is not vendor-based. I'm focusing on rural, semi-urban, because that's where we have got the athletes. That's why we are going to craft what we call it an 8-year vision, Vision 2033. Out of Vision 2023, we are going to have a strategic plan for the first 4 years, then let's have another strategic plan for the next 4 years. So this issue of having a short vision is not right for sport. I think we need to move away from that. There must be a long-term plan. That's what we are looking at. Another good news I must tell you, I had a meeting yesterday and I said, we are going now to change the way we do sport. I said, even in the meeting where we had at the ministry with my colleagues, I said, people, the way we used to do business, for me, we need to do business differently. Especially when it comes about Team Namibia preparation. We don't send a team to compete. We need to spend more money on preparation before we send a team to compete. This issue of taking a 20 million for competition and you spend $1 for preparation doesn't work for me. It must be, let's spend that 20 million then to prepare a team. At least spend the $1 for the team participation, because now you know I am taking a team that is ready to compete. And also I've done, it's good to invest more at home because you also help the economy to boost. Unlike with 20 million, they have to utilize the other side to enjoy themselves. The other side, they don't perform at the end of the day. You have taken away the money from the economy, and again, you are a loser. It's better I spend the money in the economy. At least even if I take the people a little bit that side, where they don't actually need to spend too much in terms of enjoyment, but they spend too much in terms of competing.
So meaning that would mean lesser people going to participate.
That is it's better to have a bigger pool that you groom at home. Have a bigger pool. And we need to move away to say high performance center. We send people to Germany. We send people to Netherlands. We send people outside. The climate there is not even the same in Africa. We have got the dome. And I have already made meeting with the dome as a high performance center. My team here, my development officer Salome, she's now the PP coordinator for Namibia, high performance coordinator for Namibia. People must utilize her expertise. That's why she'll be traveling to the dome, that as we got the MOU with the dome. All our athletes, when they need to go outside, especially when we're using our own money from government, we will definitely not allow a team to train outside. We will say, let the team train in Namibia, let the money remain in our country before they go out.
Wonderful.
Yes.
In terms of relationships, the Sports Commission with the federations and all that, has that been actually becoming better and rosier?
We can't even use the word better. Better is even a word less than what I can express. I can tell you, for the past years and up to now, I love to work with my people. The issues, I understand them, they understand my vision. And as such, I said, the atmosphere is something phenomenal. That, when I come to the office, I don't come for work, I come to a passion. And when I meet them, I meet brothers and sisters. So that's good for me.
That is very good. Anything to add, Mr. Mwiya, before we conclude?
We are there to deliver. I think there's just a need to empower the Sports Commission. And believe me, we know the Act empowers us. And we are going to use the tools that are available to ensure that we regulate sport in this country. And we just use the law, because the law is very important. And we are going to push that we support our federation as much as we can. And I'm very happy the ministry allocating a little bit amount of money to Sports Commission as a regulator. That's a step in the right direction. And we believe that some years to come from now onwards, this industry will be the industry that everybody will be proud to work for.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mwiya.
It was my pleasure talking to you.
Muscle and joint pain should not be the reason you can't perform at your best. Norflex Gel. It also shouldn't be the reason you miss that important deadline. Norflex Gel. Or miss those precious moments that matter the most. Norflex Gel. Norflex Gel penetrates through the skin, numbing the area and relieving pain and inflammation. Norflex Gel is now available in the pharmacy aisle and in supermarkets. New Norflex Gel Fort is available for stronger anti-inflammatory action.
Beat the pain with Norflex Gel.
Good day, everyone. Time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news. So firstly, it's the BNP Paribas Open that's being played in California. All the best men's and women's players in action on the world ranking, both men and women playing in the same tournament. And it is on the women's side. It is Ons Jabeur, unfortunately, from an African perspective, from Tunisia. She lost in the round of 32, or in the third round, and she lost to Marleta van der Sova. And the score there was 7-6 and 6-4. She's the number 4 seed, Ons Jabeur, out of the tournament. Caroline Garcia, number 5 seed, she's through to the next round, and she beat Leylah Fernandez, always a difficult opponent. She played in the US Open final a few years ago. Leylah Fernandez from Canada, and it is Garcia from France winning 6-4, 6-7 and 6-1 in the third. Also number 1 seed in the women's side is Iga Swiatek. She's from Poland. She's through to the next round, beating Bianca Andreescu, and 6-3, 7-6 the score there. On the men's side of the draw, also 2 high seeds that's out of the tournament. Firstly, number 7 seed Hubert Hurkacz. He lost to Tommy Paul of United States in 3 sets. And then also in the third round, loser is Helge Rune. He's from Denmark, and he was number 5 seed, and he's out losing to the experienced Sam Wawrinka. Score there 6-2, 6-7 and 7-5. On to golf news, and the new world rankings came out for the men and the women. On the men's side, it is a new world number 1. It's Scottie Scheffler. Scottie Scheffler won the Players' Championship the past weekend in the United States in Florida, and he's the new world number 1. He also earned $4.5 million in his winner's check for winning the Players' Championship. World number 2 now is Jon Rahm, moving from number 1 to number 2, and Rory McIlroy stays at number 3 in the world rankings. Southern African interest in the men's division, it is Christian Besaidnout. He had a good players tournament. He was in the top 15, and he drops down from number 81 to number 68 in the world. He gained 13 places. On the women's side of the world rankings, it is good news for Ashley Buhai of South Africa. She won the South African Open the last weekend. That was played in Cape Town, and by winning that, she bettered 2 positions on the world rankings. She's now in the top 20. She's number 18 in the world. So good performance there by Ashley Buhai of South Africa. Number 1 in the world at the moment still Lydia Ko of New Zealand, and the number 2 in the world at the moment, Nelly Korda of the United States. Continuing international sports news with rugby news, and it's all to play for this coming Saturday. It is for Ireland in the Six Nations Rugby Championship. The game at home against England. They will be Six Nations champions. At the moment, 4 points leader on the log. They lead by 19 points. France got 15 points. So if Ireland beat England, that is in Dublin, they will be the Six Nations champion. If they lose against England, it is France that can still win the title. They play home against Wales, and if France then win with a bonus point and Ireland don't get any bonus points, then it will be France that win. But it is Ireland definitely the favourites to win, because England had a dismal performance last weekend against England. They lost 53 points to 10 at home in London at Twickenham. So Ireland will be massive favourites. They do have a bit of a setback. 2 of their players injured. It is Gary Ringrose and also the lock Ian Henderson out for Saturday's game, but they've got lots of depth, and so they will definitely be up for it against England. Closing off with Formula 1 racing news, and it's news from Mercedes. It is leading up to this coming weekend's second race of the season, 2023 season in Saudi Arabia. It is Lewis Hamilton of Mercedes that said that he challenged his team about accountability. That's because he said that he did indicate to the team what needs to be addressed from the 2022 car, but he said it didn't happen for the new car they're driving at the moment. It's specifically also to do with the balance through the corners. That is what Lewis Hamilton said. Team principal Toto Wolff also admitted, he said that they made a mistake to pursue the 2022 car's philosophy, and that is not doing well for 2023 at the moment. Many of the car makers followed Red Bull's design. For instance, it was Aston Martin that copied the design of Red Bull, and they had a good performance in the first race in Bahrain. That's the international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Ari. That brings us to the end of today's show. Catch the Sport Wrap again tomorrow at the same time, same place. Goodbye.